What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here, and we're back again with another Pokemon Pocket video for you all. We're looking at this week's meta report. Quite honestly, like, we're looking through this tourney. We have this tourney as well, and then this one here too. Quite frankly, things are feeling like they're setting into place, so to speak. So let's go ahead and just dive into the top 8 decks that you could be using right now to be ranking up, which is exciting to see that, like, hey, Incineroar is up in the front. It actually kind of like punches its way into this week's meta report. We did not see Incineroar last week, so being able to have that here is pretty awesome. We're seeing that this Litten, they're opting for the scratch rather than the deal 10 damage, and that's pretty interesting here. The Torracat with more HP, but you need 2 energy in order to attack, which is totally fine because you're really going for this 80, 140 damage move here. Once you do get damage onto you, the opponent is just assuming that you're going to get attacked at any point here. But what I've seen that's really nice is that, like, some folks really fumble the bag. It's so, like, just that 10 damage, bringing this down to 170 or even 190 with a cape goes a lot further, because then you're attacking for 140 per turn once you're up there. And with the introduction of Howl now into the mix, you are attacking for 110 or attacking for 60 plus 20 with the burn, or you're attacking for 170 HP. And then into things like Solgaleo, which has been like having a nice little uptick. You're one-shotting a Solgaleo with this move right here, right? Because it's 20 for weakness and an additional 30 with Howl, and so that's 190 right there. So clean. But it's really just like all in. It's just your 2 Incineroar EX lines. You keep your Torracat for your Incineroar EX, and then you just kind of run the gamut here with high-end attack and with sustain with Lily, and then you kind of go from there. The Iono, just in case you're missing your pieces here. So this right now is leading the charge in the Ursi Day list here. 8-0-0 here, literally undefeated deck. So if you're looking for something new-ish, and like just kind of want to like bring Incineroar back into the mix, you do have more supporting cards to be able to do that. Up next, we have the Charizard EX, a Sylveon EX, and Flareon deck here. This deck is just really strong. You have your 1 Flareon for your Oricorio answer, which is like pretty good, because all you need for Charizard EX is essentially just 2 energy, 1 to stoke, the second energy to then initiate your Steam Artillery for the 150 damage, and then the rest of your energy goes on to Flareon, so that way you're attacking for 110, takes out that bird in one go, and you're grabbing your cards pretty quickly with Sylveon EX, aka the best card in this like new set. And I'll say it, I've said it before, and I'll continue to say that. Being able to draw 8 cards at will, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Sylveon EXs, the fact that Sylveon EX draws you 2, and you can still play supporters on top of that as well, is amazing. And then Sabrina, you know, you have the 1 Sabrina there maybe as like a little tempo charge, but just in case you're already taking out 1 Oricorio, like, your Sabrina is there to help you clean up the rest of it. So that's really good to be able to get around that one as well. 150 does so much damage, and when you're getting there, let's see, you go first, you evolve, you stoke, then on your second turn you're attacking for 150. Like, your opponent literally has no time to respond or to do anything. So pretty aggressive, pretty good deck list right here. And then this deck feels like it's not going anywhere. It's actually really cool, to the point of, like, do you need the new cards to keep up? this is new-ish, right? Like, it's not the full deck or any of the cards from this newest card pack. And while we do see Sylveon and like all these other things out there, this is still taking advantage of the Ultra Beast and just the synergy between Pheromosa, Buzzwole, Kartana. Like, definitely see that this has been the top tier Ultra Beast deck. Is the one that has lasted out long. I just continue to see if this will continue, like similar to how we've seen Darktina continue on from time and time again. We've seen Charizard EX not go anywhere, just has its own renditions, and just wondering like kind of like how this goes. But this seems to kind of be the 20 cards, right? You have your Cyrus, you have your Lusamine, you have your Ericas, you have your Leaf Cape. Sometimes it's opted the other way around, but I kind of like the 2-in-1 here. Rocky Helmet is interesting. You can play around with it, and of course, your folks don't like to leave at home without a red card. So overall, this is pretty good. Being able to attack 20 in the active and to the bench spot with Pheromosa, and then also being able to attack for 40 with just the Kartana is really strong here, because you're just looking to soften things up for your Buzzwole EX. That way you can clear them with the 120 in just one go. So that way there's no issues with that afterwards. Ooh, sorry about that. All right, and then we're going to continue on here, and this is the Silvally deck. It is kind of interesting to see that the electric deck is the one that has lasted the longest. We've seen so many renditions of Silvally. It is colorless, which means you can literally throw it in any other deck. We've seen Silvally Palkia, we've seen Silvally Rapardos, we've seen Silvally Charizard EX, even Silvally Blasphemon. I definitely butchered that as well too. But the one that has stayed is the electric deck, really taking advantage of Oricorio in this deck, actually, to make sure that you are making your opponent play differently when they're running EXs. And then you have your Zero Aura, which, like, you know, certain games you are able to win for free because you're able to don up that extra energy from Zero Aura. Since Dawn is being played, Silvally gets to attack for 100, and then the pressure is on from there. So Silvally is still a very, very good card, a very good Pokemon. 2 energy, 100 damage as long as you play a supporter. When you're literally playing 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, half your deck are supporters. It seems like you're getting that a lot of the times. So overall, still very strong, and definitely disrupts a lot of folks of what they're trying to do with Oricorio, especially on ladder as well. And then we continue on to one of the premier runners, not the best showing this weekend, but still in the top 8. So, like, you know, and when I say the best showing, we've seen the popularity of playing this deck has gone down a little bit, and the amounts in the top 8s have gone down a little bit. I think last week it was just kind of like in the top 16 there was like 10 of these decks of like this one. So, like, you know, constant mirror matches. We're not seeing that around this time around, but this deck is Froakie Greninja, taking advantage of the fact that you're running 2 Sylveon EXs, so you don't have to run your stage 1. And then we have Giratina EX in here as well to be your late game sweeper. You are running a dual energy for this, a Psychic and Water. Professor's Research, Cyrus, Mars, Rare Candy, Pokeball, Red Card, Giant Cape. The combination of Water Shuriken and Giratina EX for 130 goes a long way. And what's really nice about this as well too is that even though Oricorio has the type advantage, you are still able to take this out in one shot, which is like pretty good with your Greninja. And this is kind of like one of the few decks in between that allows Sylveon EX to attack if you need to, because I mean, it's still 10 more damage than the Greninja being at 70, whereas your Greninja is only at 60, but like, this is just one of the few decks in which Sylveon gets to attack, and I kind of like that. And so just want to make sure that, like, I highlight that since you are running both Psychic and Water, and yes, you are attempting to build up your Giratina first, or attempting, you're attempting to build up your Giratina EX first, and then you can get going with your Sylveon EX, but if you ever need your non-EX, you have that as an option as well. And then we go into Old Reliable. There's really not much else to say about this deck at this point right now. This just feels like a good and always good to go fallback. If you need something, you want it to be out there, you are playing with this. And if you're wondering, like, what do you do with Oricorio, you have Rocky Helmets, you have Giant Capes, you have Pokemon Center Lady, you have the chip damage from Darkrai, you have the Cyrus to bring it right back up in case they try to run away, you have your own potion in Pokemon Center Lady to like heal that health back up somewhat. So they're constantly going to be taking damage. You're looking at your typings. If you see the electric, you throw this on there up into the front, because they're gonna have to deal with it one way or the other. If they have to try to hide behind that, then unless they run their own kind of Guzma, that's why you kind of run to play around that as well. And then we're going to continue here, and this deck was actually pretty cool to see and play with, as well as Oricorio, Zeraora, Tapu Koko, and Arceus EX, because Tapu Koko generates its own energy. For one, Zeraora generates its own energy when it starts off. You can dedicate a lot of your rest of your energy to Arceus EX. Even though you see it's like 8 Pokemon, your bench is often filled more than not, so you typically are getting anywhere between 110 and 130 damage every time that your Arceus is ready to swing. And this deck takes clear advantage of this electrical cord, which is awesome for lightning Pokemon, or electric Pokemon, excuse me, where like you are able to put it on. If the Pokemon faints, then you get to put 2 electric energy onto any bench Pokemon. Does not matter the typing, so Arceus definitely benefits from something like this as well, so that way it can continue. So as long as you have like 1 energy on this thing, you're like primed and ready to go once this electrical cord is up, or you can dawn up as well. So it's kind of nice. And similarly to Dartina, in which you get to play a plethora of supporter cards, and that's the same with not this deck here, right? Like this is like 10. You get a lot of supporters. You get a lot of supporters, which makes this also feel very, very flexible in terms of responding to what your opponent is doing on the board, right? You get to attack earlier, you get to size them down, you get to heal, you get to attack the non-EXs that they're trying to put up front to you, clearing something very quickly, like 60 HP basics. Like if you take a look at here, right? Like getting rid of these EVs or these Ferokies even goes a long way. And so I think it's really cool. I like this style. It's pretty fast, pretty quick, and you're getting right into it. And then last but not least, we have the EV box. It is all your strong evolutions. You have your Leafeon EX. This is fire only energy, so Leafeon EX is allowing you to generate that grass energy for itself and its non-EX version. You have the Flareon EX, which allows it to generate that fire energy that gets lost when this goes down if needed. You have Sylveon EX here because you have 4 EVs. You can evolve here to draw your cards, and then you also have this Leafeon, and you will only play if you are running into a Corio. It's 90, and it can't attack the following turn. It literally is just meant to one-shot that Pokemon, because it does that through a Kate, not needing the EV bag to reach out to that, which is like really, really nice. In that point, EV bag doing doable justice here, being able to power up your attack by 10. But it also keeps your Flareon EX safe in the back if you're trying to power it up that way, so that way it is safe from Cyrus, right? It takes 20 damage in order to generate a fire energy from your discard pile, and the EV back can heal for 20, and so you go back up to 150, and you can avoid any Cyruses that could like potentially lead to you losing the game, because they can target what you've been trying to build up and get 2 points that way. So there's that, y'all. Those are the top 8 decks that are right now, and like once again, doesn't feel like, I mean, this is kind of a newer deck, doesn't feel like the meta is shifting all too much, but you know, you get some of these decks that just kind of just get some breath of fresh air in them, and like adding in a couple of cards as support, and then the next thing you know, they're leading tournaments 8-0-0, being totally undefeated. So let me know, y'all, what are you playing right now? How are you feeling about the ladder? All of these things are great to know where you all stand right now. And without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.